Gonna go ahead and pick himself up the Sivir. So LGD, really strong team fighting, but it's all about the going forward. How can we find fights? How can we pressure onto the opponents? Well,
it's really going to come down to if they can get some decent poke in. But unless Milky Way hits level 6 off of a stolen crab or a stolen grub, I don't think this fight is really playable for the side of RNG, but they're going to look for it. Tong Yuen is just going to get pushed in and doesn't get a chance to snap back on the Soul Unbound. You just really got to question the boldness from RNG. The X-Flash over the wall since they have the ward in the Tri-Bush, and as soon as Niket sees the Alistar walk up, realizes that's no longer an angle to play for.
As soon as Milky Way even ulted there, that's just the dragon gone. XQW does have ultimate, should be able to flash out.
Oh, what a clean sidestep by Milky Way. Able to evade the Emperor's Divide, and despite the flash XQW, they're starting it up. I mean, they're on vision too.
I like this though, like the bottom lane wave is even. They've brought over already Sasa on the top side. They're trying to cheat for this now. Okay.
Nice use of the spell shield by Xiao Ye. It just absorbs the Cyan ultimate, but YCX punted into the wall. Still tanky. Meanwhile, a flash from Milky Way, two-man lilting lullaby, but at what cost? He's going to take a dirt nap himself. Tong Yuen now trying to aid into the fight. Still super healthy, but has the snap back on the Soul Unbound. Flash from Jachi and Niket forced out of them because the pressure from LGD is just too damn high.
I love
gold injection for yourself, and LGD willing to take that gambit and say, we're still ahead in objectives. We're going to put ourselves further and further closer to that win condition. Oh, really nice public execution. The follow-up from YCX and Xiaoya is just easy as pie, knowing that Jachi had no summoner spells from the prior fight, and it's just an easy pick.
They even get his barrier here, so tough looks there. I'm pretty sure he didn't think that Mbessa ult was landing, so they'll trade the first turret.
Vision control, see where the rest of LGD members are at.
I think this is really fake here from LGD. I wish that instead they had decided to swap XQW. I think they're trying to make sure that he gets gold, so they're going to try and get him this bottom lane tier 1. But when you have a Herald, you have 5 grubs, and Niket's caught.
Wow, and like that, once again, pulverized flash from YCX, able to bypass the steadfast presence, and it sets up LGD for another injection of gold. Are they going to continue the chase here? Tong Yuen, fate sealed after the Q3. Milky Way is there for the lilting lullaby if he wants to cast it. They finally take a nap. Milky Way and Tong Yuen able to burn down Nayo, and a teleport from Xiaoshu at least allows him to join the fray and prevent any LGD members from looking for more here. But Sasa, he arrives to the party. He definitely wants to. Meanwhile, Sasa, at least it's just going to put pressure onto the bot lane. Xiaoshu was roaming back towards the top side of the map so that he can make this fight happen. They know that Sasa cannot join this fight. They're trying to force a 5v4. Tong Yuen's still trying to join from the top side of the map, not going to make it in time.
And
Niket is just getting chunked out. Thanks to XQW, had a really great position. Now he might be put to sleep. Lilting Lullaby lands on a 2. YCX could be the next target here. Xiaoshu smashes him with the axe, but here comes Tong Yuen trying to change the odds here and turn the tides of the fight. Xiaoshu still facing the pain from Nayao getting chased down because everyone else from RNG had to flee, and LGD are going to take the fight away from RNG.
And they get to catch the mid wave incredibly high. Before this play, they were pushing in mid. They do this again here where they're able to clear. Sasa ended up getting another.
They're overgrouping. They're trying to play too much into the ends of LGD when they are down in gold because they are so afraid of just losing much more. Third Dragon easily goes over to the hands of Nayo. And now the rest of LGD, all they got to do is just walk this fight out. Lay for a better repositioning. Public execution right into the backline. RNG trying to stall this one out, but Tong Yuen forced to flash away. And if he's the biggest carry made in a minute, Xiaoshu on the backline, being able to find a huge flank. Xiaoya can clean up this fight though, and Jachi's Ezreal is just not enough, even powered with that awesome flank from Xiaoshu. LGD just way too far ahead. Doesn't matter, they lose out on XQW's Azir, they still ace them.
Well, it's their pick of the litter. Do they?
This Otacon going down super rapidly, no chance for RNG to contest. And I think after this objective being secured for LGD, there's maybe one more fight that RNG could look at that could swing them back into the game. But at this point, it is looking dire here, Alk.
Man, they even get to hit this top lane tier 1, so more of that gold going over to XQW, who's the only player with a gold deficit.
Yeah, it almost seems like RNG forgot what kind of AD carry they were playing against in this game. Sivir just benefiting when everyone is grouped up in the same area. Those ricochet blades, yeah, the Sivir isn't on, 3 items or 6 items like we, both of these items at this stage in the game, well ahead of the item curve. Xiaoya's pumping on the Sivir.
Xiaoya's also just gotten a lot of free gold because, again, Sivir pushes waves, then she moves. And that's something we couldn't say for Jauchi. Now, Niket looking. That's Nio out.
Keeper's verdict punts out the jungler here. YCX doing everything he can to protect the rest of his backline. A shift in from XQW sends them all back with the Emperor's Divide as Nio now rejoins the fight. And marks Tong Yuan. He can't even get into the fight. The one person that seemed like he had a fighting chance against LGD, but he's just completely soloed by the jungler of LGD. And I think this is game over. The team has definitely done the work to set up this Sivir for success. Xiaoya has delivered when he needed to. The Baron secure for the side of LGD, and we're 30 seconds away from Soul Point spawning as YCX trying to lurch forward, looking for, just fishing for any cooldowns that he could burn off of a panic button.
RNG, they need to stay up here, honestly. Like, Milky Way, after that red buff, brother, you're walking on forward. You're walking into the river right now because we need to contest for this soul. And even if they have this soul, I just don't think it matters, right? Like, LGD, they still have the Baron for the next 2 minutes. It's very easy for them to push this wave. That's going to be another wave missing here for RNG, so they're going to start up this Dragon. They need to be able to grab this, and then they need to win the fight afterwards if they want any chance here.
Nio's got to be careful on this left flank. He's brought in Tong Yuan, but he is forced out of the fight below 300 HP at the moment, or 30%. But the rest of the fight from LGD is going just fine. They find Niket. YCX sends it for an engage on Jauchi. He's keeping his position, but a public execution from Sasa finds Jauchi in the backline. The shift away, the flash over the wall. He's running. He's just trying to survive against this Abessa, but the Sasa just does not give a damn. He's going to take out the Ezreal in one swell bloop, and Xiaoya able to deal with any threats that RNG sends his way. The Mountain Soul was secured. Another ace picked up for LGD, and that's game 1 in the bag.
And that is it. That is going to be the teleports coming in. And Mark, it's been, all things considered, a one-sided game here for LGD. They got themselves the soul. They got 5 grubs without very much contest coming in from Royal Never Give Up. And it's going to be the final push as they look to move up 1-0 in this series.
Something about Xiaoya Sivir is just putting a big smile on my face after witnessing it that game, Alk. RNG, one last stand, but I don't think it's going to be like IG versus JDG. LGD surely have this one locked up and wrapped. Game 1 goes to LGD. Damn. Milky Way catching a stray like that already. That's foul. But you know what? I think this is our first Annie of the split, if not the season. Oh, I'm gonna have no camps from the blue side have been taken by Milky Way. Meanwhile, flash from Niket right onto Xiaoya. The ignite popping. Jauchi flashing forward. And that's first blood for RNG.
Full context. And as you can see, they were there first to the top side. Niket is here, but there's a flank from Milky Way.
Oh, no. The Sonic Wave lands super easily onto YCX since the prior...
You have to be worried about how fast they're able to get this done. There's no flash here from XQW. Oh,
okay, good size up by XQW, but it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Niket at least is able to tank up the turret shots for Milky Way to land the rest of his damage. Nio wants to see if he can at least get some punish back. There's no Tibbers, there's no flash from Milky Way. Goes for the first easy target, and Niket gets the reset off the Hound's pursuit. Won't necessarily go for...
He's going to be coming from his E. That Tempest plus Cripple is going to add so much value versus a Renata. Expand of Nio. And maybe they try to find this pick onto Renata. The wireframe shows her she just gets caught out. YCX is dead.
Yeah, even if she tried to flash away, there's no escaping the mobility that Milky...
even more. And that'll be focused really onto Tong Yuan and Milky Way.
Oh, they all in right on top of XQW, but the hostile takeover is here to turn the tides of the fight. Milky Way dropping
no
super
way.
low. Nio gets the first reset on the Hound's pursuit and is ready to bow down on Tong Yuen's face. Next up could be Niket, looking for the Darkened Dagger, finds the second cast. It's a triple for Nayo. This jungler has come in and not missed one beat in revitalizing the LGD roster. Chachi tries to save the day. The bullet time will scatter most and finds two back, but still a massive win for LGD.
They lose a lot of their summoner spells, but at the very least, Chachi was able to grab 2 kills in the end.
Get the picture-in-picture, at least for RNG's sake.
So important for both of these teams in this series, just being able to get vision down and, you know, really supplant yourself in an area and kind of defend your territory.
Meanwhile, XQW getting run down since he doesn't have flash. Yeah. Wow, that was just a straight-up solo queue. Xiaoshu just knew that without flash, there's no chance for this Rise to escape.
And he has demolished. That was a question that we had for earlier. So 6 grubs, demolished. That turret's going to go down. Maybe even gets more, but he doesn't have teleport. Yeah, so he should just be looking for this whole thing.
A really good dredge line there. Gets away from the handshake. Tong Yuen now joins the fight. Throws down the tippers, but still gets dogged down by Nayo. Good bullet time from Chachi. Splits up the members of LGD in that choke point. Nayo now
2.5 minutes. It's probably be the turret here as Chachi gets collapsed upon.
He has cleanse, but can he get away? Does he have the protection necessary from the rest of the team? LGD all in and didn't take into account where the rest of the RNG squad members were.
Minutes ahead of this Rod of Ages. Tong Yuen's going to be able to finish his second item in time, probably around the 21-minute mark, and then pick of the litter when it comes to objectives and fights across the map here.
LGD trying to bully the rest of RNG out of their own jungle and secure these.
Hostile takeover. Otherwise, I think LGD have over-prioritized this bottom lane wave. They might lose 2 turrets for this between mid and top lane.
Yeah, Xiaoshu is just steamrolling through the minion wave on the top.
Xiaoshu does have teleport. You can see the pings. They want to see if he can push his wave a little bit further. Milky Way should just give this up. This is fake. Yeah. I think we're just giving this up. They're just trying to buy time here for York.
Engage there. Realm Warp. Maybe for Sasa to look for a flank angle, finds his way right on top of Milky Way's head. It's the kick that sends him out. Flash hostile takeover will only snag Tong Yuan, but that could be the target. That's all that's needed. But they have to make a decision quick, because look in the top lane. Xiaoshu is working on the second tier turret and could easily make his way to the inhibitor towers next. And the fact that RNG are able to trade out 1 is still working in their favor.
Can he steal it, though?
Getting burned out, but Xiaoshu is actually teleporting to the fight. Nayo secures the Otacon, but the rest of LGD, they got revives. They can take this fight. They can trade kills. But Nayo is still forced to run. YCX now could be the next target. Milky Way is going to find his way into the backline. And the fight being victorious for them. Meanwhile, Nayo looking for the first target onto Niket. The Hound's Pursuit already casted, but needs to get another target before he can cast it once again. They turn on to Xiaoshu, coming in from the left flank.
Tong Yuen
making his way to the right side. He's immediately threatening Xiaoya to force the flash away, but XQW's in the middle of all of them. Is he tanky enough on the rise? Nayo finds the first reset on the Chachi, and he can cast it again. Realm Warp is going to bring them even closer under the tier 1 turret, but Milky Way tries to keep his distance, forces them to back off, looks for the Sonic Strike, not gonna land. Sonic Wave is gonna go to the wayside. Milky Way at least stays alive. A Baron buff is available for the taking, and as long as RNG can look for a steal, it can still be playable.
This is super close. They're gonna turn right onto Milky Way. Say goodbye.
They had vision, and they knew that Milky Way was gonna fish for the steal, and RNG all walk in one by one. Thankfully for them, they trade Xiaoya, but I think LGD will still have enough damage to burn this one down.
Sasa even still has the Otacon revive, so he'll take part in that, and LGD get creative with their finds. They get a good pick away from him, and I loved how they turned immediately. They had to explain Xiaoya's flash, but it'll grab themselves the Baron, and now
to come back in. Oh, they spotted him on the control ward that was walking on over. Milky Way had just... He was more concerned about trying to fish for a steal than the potential for LGD to jump back over the wall. Now we're back to live. Third Dragon was sniped away by LGD. They have 3 dragons to the name right now. RNG were trying to fish to see if there is a fight that they could take in the aftermath of the objective. The gold lead has evened up here. We up in the CC train, and he's able to escort the rest of his team out alive.
Such a creative play. The Realm Warp finally being used to get members out of dodge. We haven't talked about it much, but Nio being 10-1 on this Nefiri. YCX, that was
Milky Way is completely isolated, but a quick snag right on top of Xiaoya. Really great coordination from RNG to find the AD carry of LGD completely alone. And now LGD are left. Awards from LGD. We'll get a chance to see everything now with the blue scryers. The Dragon has been started up here. The rest of RNG all circled up on this banana brush, waiting for someone from LGD to step up. Flash available from Tong Yuan for a stun setup here. Jachi, bullet time coming up. The Realm Warp from...
No one's there.
It's a bait.
Can they finish the Dragon, though?
Dredge line goes wide, 4,000 HP. Milky Way goes in, but gets caught up by the hostile takeover. The Ocean Soul is secured by Nio, and now he finds the first reset on the Milky Way. Looking for Jachi next. The flash forward into the Hound's pursuit. Good night, Jachi! Oh, goes the dogs, and Nio is going to sink their fangs into the rest of RNG's back. The rest of LGD can do away with the remaining stragglers of RNG, and this looks like it's a series swept.
Wow, I mean, we talked about what Nio has been able to do for this team coming in. When they had Climber, unfortunately, LGD were 5-13 in game store. With Nio, after taking this win up against RNG, is now going to move up to 6-1 after his performance. And now with an Ocean Drake, the LGD are going to end 3-0 here.
Cementing their place at the top of the standings in Group Nirvana, one step closer to guaranteeing a continuation of their season into Split 3. LGD swept the pushes, since that can be Cube and Monkey's job, but it does come down to reliable and non-committal engage, and which, you know, if you throw out the Skarner ultimate, that's a big tension adding up onto what could be the first fight of the game. Meanwhile, topside, Hoya might have overextended for this one. Throws down the equalizer. I think he's accepted his fate, knowing that he's going to go down. He tries to flash away anyway, but there's still an impale that you have to dodge. And his first
Cube. They are reinforcing. They do not want this bottom lane tier 1. They want to try to corral them around this objective and play to them in the pit.
Oh, Thunder Talk are in trouble here. 4 versus 3. The rest of TT members are far away, and they've already done away with H1. And Satab is just casting the Weaver's Wall so he can get the hell out of here. But Feather has joined the fight, trying to bail out his AD carry in 1xM, but he's still caught up by all 3 from the side of WE. And they cannot get back in and pressuring for the top tier 1 turret. H1 finding Taeyun, flashing forward right on after him, and the rest of WE's front line has to come in and save him out, but the 1xN Killer Instinct finishes off the AD carry. Monkey's gonna try to buy some time with his Impale, trying to look for 1xN. Vampire and Monkey will at least trade one back, but the rest of the fight has been lost. Monkey is forced to scatter, but the flash from Hoya will commit for the Scorpion. Another harpoon in the back.
The trigger a little sooner than that. That's just a Dragon going over now, and when we come back to lanes, I mean, Thunder Talk will be able to continue to push around some of their opponents. Don't do this. Monkey, just there you go. Okay. They'll continue to... Second items are probably going to be coming in, especially for Taeyun, who's almost done with a Muramana at this point.
A good sweep by Karis, and Hoya doesn't have flash available, so he's just going to accept his fate, walk it off, and die. WE now got to be careful. Feather avoids the Impale by skirting right on past him thanks to the Battle Dance and the Grand Entrance. Monkey cannot get through the wall of the Astal's impact, but please tell me you guys have enough damage, and yes, they do. H1 finds the win, becomes lightning in the back of the Scorpion.
But they lose so much. Like, Rafa, look at the map right now. They didn't... This entire time, Cube is just pushing the wave. So that's turret damage being taken. That's another wave that they're missing at the very least. They get 2 turrets here for Karis. I mean, if he gets the Spear of Shojin, he's going to be nigh unkillable in this game. So Thunder Talk need to act quick before this game starts to get out of hand. And it's really kind of, it's going to be tough just because of the item deficit that they're at.
Yeah, and hang on. Could be a big fight over here in the red quadrant. Cube arrives with the hero's entrance. H1 is caught up by the Impale, but Feather buys so much time, and 1xN is free, hitting the front line. Can they get enough damage? Hoya has joined the fight as well. 1xN still pumping, finds the Killer Instinct right into the backline, flashing away from Taeyun, but he still falls to Karis on the Azir. And now Satab is isolated from the rest of his squad. WE carries able to pull through in the fall of their front line.
That was such a close fight. All of the damage is located in the Ezreal and the Azir. kind of have like a crab. Kars is even going to be able to grab a tier 1, and the teleport from Satab? Sure, yeah. Why not?
I mean, Satab and the rest of Thunder Talk very desperate to try and force some fights here on WE, but they can't get in. They don't have control of any of these river entrances here. There is a control ward, but the rest of WE just holding their ground here. Weaver's Wall will cut off Karis from the rest of the squad. Feather goes in, grand entrance right on top. That's a massive equalizer, but isn't really doing any damage. Not just to anyone, just only to Vampire, but he gets to walk away for free. They lose Hoya in the trade as well as Feather, so now it's a 3v5. Karis is able to finish off the Otacon, and now the rest of Thunder Talk have to scramble or at least pick up some res spawns here. Karis limping away, still has a tier 1 tower to safely escape to.
Oh no! Okay, I thought he was TPing out. No, it's just Cube.
It definitely looked that way, but thankfully for WE's case, it was just Karis recalling and Cube now trying to force them off the fight here. The Dragon, wait, does he? Oh, he doesn't have Smite! He doesn't have Smite! Okay, Thunder Talk secure the Dragon for themselves, but now Karis is able to rejoin thanks to his own TP, and they are just using Otacon respawns to at least... I don't know why we went mid lane there, but you know what? Thunder Talk get the damage done. They're able to survive the teleports, and Monkey, even though he's a big Skarner, he's not going to be able to find any more stragglers here.
A lot used there by WE. Their teleport's really important to have in this game. I think just trying to contest for that Dragon, even if Beichuan had Smite, why are we going for that play? They actually delay them. This will be the Baron now going over to Team WE. So willing to trade some of their early sums because they have the Otacon. I'm sorry for not knowing game on that one. A very good find there for Team WE as they start this up. And Beichuan has 5 seconds before he's even able to respawn and get out onto the map.
Hoya would have to be a pretty damn good equalizer right into the pit, but they're able to sidestep it, still burning down the Baron. Monkey should have the smite cleanly executed there. Feather trying to keep them in the pit. Seismic shove right onto the front line, but they just don't do enough damage to all the magic resist stacking tanks here on the side of WE. Hoya isolated once again, and Taeyun clears him easily. The Impale finds the rest of the members of Thunder Talk just for Karis and Taeyun to gun them down.
They have Baron. How much can they grab of this? It's 30 seconds before multiple members of Thunder Talk are up. It'll just be Feather by himself. Baron, Ezreal plus A and Azir. They've got Demolish proc, so they'll take one. At most, this is going to be an inhibitor. I don't know if they're going to quite go for the end on this one.
20 seconds, just under that timer for Thunder Talk to respawn on the map. And I think the call is correct here. WE. Get the
burning curve. We get back to live. Beichuan has to use his flash. He's still caught.
It's not going to matter for him. The chase down is too good from Team WE. And now without a jungler here from Thunder Talk, they're going to be down to a 4v5. Karis already using the Baron buff to push through the bottom side of the map to at least guarantee the setup for another inhibitor tower to fall. Monkey taking position forward because he is just so damn durable. Look at this. Kanik Rooker already completed.
Yep.
Empowered Merc Treads as well, thanks to the tier 3 boots from the Feats of Strength completed by Team WE. No one can really kill this Skarner reliably.
Hopefully it's going to be 1xN. He's got 3 items, and now they're hitting on the base. 20 seconds, so this is the last wave that we will see with Baron. But WE, they want to make a play. They want to end.
Hoya getting tagged here, forced to flash away. Vampires in. Feather just gets deleted, and now it's down to a 4v5 once again. Vampires chunked, but Monkey can sustain the fight as the front line, taking up as much damage as possible. The cannon empowered minions being able to siege through the Nexus Tower. First falls. Looking for the next one. Baron buff has expired. A flash from Vampire to land another engage, but really good Crescent Guard by Beichuan. Punts them all back. Emperor's Divide flashed by 1xN. Wait a minute, Thunder Talk. They're not going to go down without a fight. They're going to make this a fight to the very bitter end. Taeyun trying to delete as many members as possible. Thunder Talk now down to the last. Once that is completed, Satab and Hoya are going to have an easier time to actually melt through these tanks, ensure that 1xN is not having to do all the heavy lifting by himself. Once he was able to at least just solo out a tank by himself without any threat from Karis or Taeyun, he was getting a decent amount of damage in, being able to shred through. It takes isolated skirmishes, being able to break apart the 5-man that WE have.
Right. We're going to try again. We've got Baron in a minute, even if they don't succeed on this next push. 2 mini waves about to crash. This bottom lane has 2 super minions in it, and it's an open nexus. Come on,
that's
guys.
a lot of damage on the Feather already. Good equalizer by Hoya, forcing Taeyun to Arcane Shift away, but a good impale finds Beichuan, immediately blinks out Feather, and that should be the game. 1xN gonna try his damnedest to survive the front line, the onslaught, the CC, the flash away from Monkey, but the rest of WE can just focus down the Nexus, and WE come away with game 1.
There it is. They've been able to take games, but not end out series here in Split 2. Still 0 active. We need to see how they're interacting with their lanes, setting up for around objectives. WE are not going to be able to get much in the early game just by way of having this Ornn on your team. Okay. We're doing this. 1xN, don't step up to the wall.
Oh, 1xN stepping up, flag and drag over, just not respecting an earlier timer from WE's jungler. Are they going to look for 2?
Okay. Well, well, Vampire's dead. All right, say goodbye, everyone.
H1 able to get one back for the side of ThunderTalk Gaming, baby, and 1xN is the recipient of the kill gold.
Recognizing that even though they are the team with double range bot lane as well as having multiple range carries, well, maybe they just kill Feather with the ultimate, though.
Whoa! He just dinged level 4, but because he was level 3, he took so much damage. Satab now trying to equalize it back with the Chaos Storm, but Vampire's able to walk away! He has enough movement speed thanks to the heal, and now WE extend the leaderboard kills to 2.
That's an amazing find there. Just being able to grab Feather also means that Taeyun now gets to continue to hit on this wave. 1xN has to, at the very least, feign like he's recalling, buy time. And now they're actually a little desynced between the two of them. Feather might make a WE.
Again, oh no, Satab is in trouble. Cataclysm into the shockwave. A couple more auto attacks. Monkey's trying to take it up, and he flashes away from the glacial prison out of fog. Beichuan starting up the grubs. Monkey trying to fight for his way in. Banana Brush in fog. Here comes Cars, looming on down, completing the flank. Shockwave right on the 2, right into the Cataclysm, and 1xN cannot leave. Did he flash into the wall? Because that is tragic. Vampire might be the next target, but as long as the Nico goes down and no one else, but Taeyun. Oh,
no way, no way!
Good piercing arrow empowered by the W cast is able to save his life, and WE just continues.
That is heartbreaking for ThunderTalk.
It's the fact that Beichuan used the ultimate in the mid lane. Cars has the confidence to literally walk up and down smash them with the shockwave. I mean, who else is going to stop him in the middle of that play? And I feel like the only thing that
so important for ThunderTalk, being able to move around the map, open up plays, and force summoners.
Is he just going to solo him?
Feather's just dead.
Dude, Monkey is so
it's a jungle versus
accelerated.
Support.
Yeah. Level 10 versus what I believe is a level 6 Bard. Yeah, Sunder Sky. And
what
now
are we doing?
1v1ing Satab. Don't tell me he just solos him right here and there. One more QW. Karis is having a pop-off series tonight, y'all.
He gets a hit on another one, and that's going to be the first start going right to Team WE, which will mean feats of strength have been accomplished.
Yep. And being able to hit the first T1.
Move these people preemptively. This should be their objective.
Monkey immediately going in on the Satab, just popping the Cataclysm, but he does not burn the flash until now, but Vampire can follow up with a Blossom of his own. Cube is there. Call the Forge God gets the knockup, and Satab is gone. Here comes Hoya. Can he find a good flank? But who can his target be? Everyone from WE quickly reassembles. And for charge, Monkey is now going to continue the chase onto the Crocodile. Taeyun and a Vampire right behind him, getting the double slice and dice, nicely done by Hoya. Here comes the Tempered Fate right onto Karis. Can they land the CC on top of him? Cosmic.
That's enough.
Binding isn't enough. Kars is in trouble. Steps behind the curtain call. Finally dies the Satab, who resurrected from the grave and teleported in because the fight went on so damn long.
Just very much be thankful for, as it gave them a way back into this game.
Yeah, you know, Team WE, for their credit, they have been playing with fire, and they've been able to at least handle it very gracefully throughout a majority of this game. But that was one of those moments when they stayed a little too close to the heat of the play. Now, ThunderTalk, 1xN did just lose his flash off the back of Taeyun, and now that's an easy Cataclysm. Goes for the easy Q. Monkey drops the Cataclysm. Easy dunk for the side of Team WE.
Okay, that's not the mid-tier one. I thought maybe they're going to try to play more for this, but maybe afraid of Beichuan being in the area. Dragon was never taken here, so if WE really want to, you can kind of see that they're going to just start this. Varus will clear out the mid wave. He'll move down. Bitchuan and Hoya might have something to say about that if they really decide they want to try to contest. A lot of vision here, and 1xN will not be here for this fight, but Setap is moving. Coob already preemptively knowing he doesn't have teleport, so he's going to have to hoof it all the way over. Oh!
The Glacier Prison goes wide once again, and WE are going to turn now to Hoya, who doesn't have a flash. The Shockwave pulls him right back in. WE guarantee the numbers advantage as they turn the focus back to the Dragon. And Thunder Talk know that they cannot have a chance to contest. They're just going to look for the mid-tier 1 instead.
I like, they're not even going to get this turret, though. Ornn can just be used to clear out this entire wave.
And Feather's now in trouble. There's no flash. Look at how fast WE are able to move in between these plays and make these sequences flow so seamlessly. This is a whole new WE we're seeing on the Rift.
Mark, we got to get excited. WE are about to win their first series of split number 2. It might come up against Thunder Talk, but better them than anybody else at this point.
Yeah.
WE teams, you're able to prove yourself there. Against Thunder Talk, this was the part where it was going to be very easy, or at least comparable for them. Vampire.
Massive Pop Blossom sets up Taeyun for a lot of damage onto Feather, forced out of the fight. Monkey locking in Satab, now flashing over the Baron Pit wall before that ball comes into play. Tempered Fate stops Karis in his tracks. The rest of WE are forced to the right side. Glacial Prison lands true right at the Taeyun, but Monkey comes back in, stuns them up. The Shockwave buys time for Taeyun to survive and finish off the front line, and Thunder Talk are forced to retreat once again. The chase is on.
Just matching him. Okay, I mean, Kars, you don't have ultimate. You should be able to win this 1v1 if you're able to hit him. Okay.
He's got Rod of Ages and Seraphs. Does he win the 1v1 against Satab? He's got a level advantage. He's just buying time. Satab had already used the TP to try to get the wave in as fast as possible, and now he's routed off by Vampire on the left side. He's trying to navigate it as much as possible. It's taking a while. The Blast Cone is going to send him right into the waiting arms of Monkey, and poor Satab is just on the wrong side of the map here. Unless he can get another Blast Cone play, it just sends him back over. I guess Thunder Talk's mid laner stalled a lot of time for the rest of his team to spawn back on the map. River. Bitchuan trying to follow up, but doesn't have Glacial Prison anymore. Here comes the Ornn Horn. Called the Forge God, lands on the Feather. Monkey is in, looking for the target. Pop Blossom will only hit on the right side of Hoya as he flashes in, tries to take out the AD carry, and Monkey still survives. He bought enough time on the other side of the fight from Thunder Talk Frost before he commits a flash, but the rest of WE come in to bail out their mid laner. Curtain Call, but it's a Pop Blossom from Vampire that buys up some space, and Karis is able to do away with Bitchuan. Feather now in trouble. Tempered Fate right into the backline, stalls some time, but they've lost the front line. It's only on to Hoya to protect the rest of the backline, and Satab at 1xN. But they're under fire. Shockwave doesn't really do anything, but a piercing arrow almost kills Satab and 1xN in the backline. They're able to limp away alive, but WE still come away with the fight dub.
A lot of things happened there, but a lot of them were positive for WE. Game here, Mark. I think you could start to feel some of that weight on WE. They do not want to go winless. They do not want to throw this game, so they're trying for every last advantage they can get here. And it's just, some of it is just not connecting.
Karis locked in by the Tempered Fate. Glacial Prison. The timing is not there. It's too early. The Shockwave is going to pull Hoya and Bitchuan in. The Sejuani now in for the hell of a ride of its lifetime. Bitchuan cannot get out. The Arctic assault into the wall. Doomsday and tragedy for Thunder Talk jungler. Hoya isolated once again. And it's just up to Satab and 1xN to try and pull a rabbit out of the hat. A miracle, but it's going to be so hard because they're nearly 9,000 gold down. A Curtain Call looking for the frontline members, but Monkey and Cube are so tanky, they can just use the Call of the Forge God, looking right back on the Feather. The board falls. WE are peeled off the Baron for now, but they can always return.
They're going to go straight back to it, and it'll be Satab and 1xN to put the defense on for Thunder Talk. No Curtain Call. An Arcane Storm, though, available here for Satab as Vampire goes fishing.
Finds 1xN, and that's the pick they need. No summoner spells available for the Jhin. Cleanse and Flash were already exhausted in prior fights. Now it's up to Satab, but no Chaos Storm available. This Baron is easy to secure for the side of Team W. It has been such a hard-fought battle to stay afloat and relevant amongst all the teams here in Group Ascend. And even though they've been able to find game wins off the top of teams like
individually, Monkey and Vampire, we're getting the last TP. Hoya's already popped the Dominus.
Tempered Fade right onto Karis. Can they hold the line here? Vampire positions his Pop Blossom for the Renekton. Karis still under fire, but Hoya cannot do enough. He's forced to slice and dice back through the front line. Hoya is taken out of the fight. Curtain Call now going to fish for Cube. He doesn't have a teleport to rejoin the fight, but the rest of the Baron buff members from Team WE can continue to push in through the base.
Monkey!
Flashes in, Cataclysm, dunks, feathers, board, and now Thunder Talk and members are down to 3.
Okay, one last push. Vampire hiding as a minion yet again. They're going to get cheeky with it. It's an ultimate that doesn't land. They're going to continue to fish. Guys, you got to be careful. You don't have that much HP available.
Lee's morale is not dropping for a second. The confidence is evident. It is clear. And they are trying to push this forward to close this series out. As Thunder Talk down to the last...
If they can't make a defense, if they can't push back against 12,000 gold lead here... Obviously, they were never meant to win this game, as that's just another turret falling. They've got another mid wave coming on in. They've already got bot waves hitting the Nexus turrets. This is the last final pushes here for Thunder Talk.
Inhibitor 1 falls. Monkeys in onto Satab. Call the Forge God. Lines up only onto Beichuan. Satab getting ready to fall. Beichuan steps up. The Pop Blossom flash. Able to find the backline here. The rest of Thunder Talk trying to hold on and continue maintaining the front line, but the Nexus towers are in the sights of WE. Monkey jumps forward once again to create space. Curtain Call looking for bullets onto Taeyu, enforcing the cleanse and the flash. Monkey just pops the Cataclysm, keeps Satab locked up. Karis will find him. 1xN trying to do it all, but it won't happen. Where were you when Team WE picked up their first series win of the Rumble stage?
They have done it. There's always that question of always forgetting how to win, but they did it against